Hey guys, it's Nodreen K and welcome to today's video. If you are new here, thank you for tuning in and please do make sure you don't leave without subscribing. If you're on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, come and follow me over there. I will have linked all of my @s on the screen and in the description box, but it's just Nodreen K across all channels. Today we are getting up close and personal with a relationship Q&A. It wasn't a request so much as I just saw lots of interaction on the last one that I did. So I thought I would do a follow-up to that and gather up even more of your juicy questions and answer those, or as many of them as I can, in the video. So give the video a thumbs up if you are well up for that and ready to spill the tea with me on all things relationships, mine, others. Then keep watching. Yeah, as I said, don't forget to subscribe. So I want to start with Instagram and then do the questions I got here on YouTube last, because some of them are still coming through and lots of you guys left some really good ones, so I'm going to start there. So the first question was, do you have any fears when it comes to your relationship? I guess my main fears would be around me as a human being doing anything to make my partner not feel good or feel negative, or doing something to negatively impact my partner on a sort of more long-term basis. So I think in past relationships, you know, I have left with good memories and also some not so great ones, and some of those probably leave a lasting impact, or probably have left a lasting impact. So I would hate for, you know, if things were to end, I would hate to know that I left a negative lasting impact on somebody, because it's never what you want and it's never what you set out for in a relationship. So I guess that's one of my biggest fears. And I think anything else, to be honest, I've experienced. Okay, not everything, but I think that most bad things that could happen within a relationship, I have bounced back from. So I kind of go into this one right now without many fears, or nothing that I feel like I can't take on. So I suppose that's a good place to be. Do you know what? No, that's a lie. I think one of the things I also do fear is moving in together, just to be like completely transparent, because I think you really learn a lot, and I think you go through a lot of trials and tribulations when you move in with your other half. And while I know that, you know, if you've got a solid foundation, that can always work out for the best, it's just that, you know, that very shaky moment in the relationship where you're sort of trying to learn each other and figure each other's living styles out. So that's probably one thing that I'm a bit apprehensive about, but yeah, it's something that you just have to get over, really. The next question that was asked was, is your boyfriend Ugandan and how did we meet? No, he's not Ugandan. He is from Kenya, which is pretty much neighbouring Uganda, so culturally it's not that different. We met out, actually. I was on a night out with my siblings and one of my cousins who'd come over from Uganda, and we just got chatting, and you know, as they say, the rest is history. But I was actually knee deep into a plate of wings when we met, so probably wasn't looking my best, but it just goes to show that people should meet you where you are. What are your thoughts on being child-free as an African woman in a relationship and the stigma? This was a really good question, and one I definitely battle with. So I guess, you know, in African culture, it's, you know, reproducing and, you know, family is a big part of our culture. And I'm not saying that it's not part of other cultures, but, you know, having big families and having kids as a woman is sort of seen as the norm. So if your thoughts are ever, you know, I guess if you're ever of the thinking that kids are really not for you as a woman, as an African woman, you're probably going to be met with quite a bit of opposition, I would say. I kind of have been back and forth with like wanting kids my whole life pretty much, and I think it's only now at this stage in my life that I feel like my mind has been changed. And I wouldn't say that I've always been that maternal. Like, don't get me wrong, I think I've always been good with kids because I babysat from a very young age, but I've never really kind of been overly broody and just like always known that I've wanted kids. It's been something that I've struggled with. And I actually used this time in isolation to really think about where those thoughts come from and where my fears around that, because I think I did have a big fear about motherhood, where my fears around that come from. And it's really about, for me anyway, responsibility, and having that much responsibility and impact in somebody else's life, particularly somebody who didn't ask to be here, was a lot for me. And I said that I always said that I would never want to have kids if I wasn't in the right kind of relationship, and if I wasn't with a man who I felt like would be a great father, or who I would make a great partnership and team with. And I also wouldn't want to do it if I wasn't stable enough or, you know, set up enough to be able to give my child the best start in life. So I do feel like I like my sleep. I like my sleep, I like my freedom. I like to be able to just move and go about doing what it is I want to do without too much thought. But recently I have been getting older, and I think I also had a few things on my bucket list that I wanted to tick off in my life, you know, things that I wanted to achieve by not by a certain point in time, but just things I wanted to achieve for me. And I know myself, and I know that I'm always looking for the next thing, or the next challenge in life, or the next level. And I know that when I pretty much tick off those things, which I'm sure I'm not far from, I'm gonna feel like, okay, but what is this all for? Like, what is the point? And I've started to feel like that a little bit now. Like, those things that I've always held to quite a high esteem in my life don't mean so much anymore. And, you know, my life's purpose isn't as clear as it used to be. And so, yeah, I guess it's hard. It's something that I've battled with, particularly because I always felt I didn't think I'd meet, for the last couple of years anyway, I didn't think I'd meet the kind of person that I would want to have kids with. So, yeah. What are my thoughts? I haven't really answered the question, have I? Being child-free right now in a relationship, I feel no pressure. Like, nobody is going to force me into doing anything that I don't 100% want to do. So I think that if you're in the same boat as me and, you know, you don't have any kids, you're in a happy, stable relationship, there's no reason why that has to change. Culture is culture, don't get me wrong, but you make your own path in life, and your culture doesn't have to determine how you live your life. It's just supposed to be a part of what makes you you, and, you know, form a part of what you kind of do or how you go about things on a daily basis, but it doesn't have to steer, you know, your whole direction. So do you. If you want to be child free, if you want to travel, if you want to, you know, build a business, like, there's so many more things you can do in life if motherhood isn't a path that you want to take. So I say more power to you. What attracted you to your boyfriend, and how do you know if it's not going to waste your time? I'd say what attracted me to him was he's quite jovial, I would use that word. Very jolly, very cheeky, very just a like bubbly person. And I think he was obviously drawn to me first because he approached me, but I really enjoyed that first conversation that we had. And, you know, if you know me, I'm all about having a good long conversation. So the fact that I felt at ease with him, and I almost forgot where I was for that, however many, a couple of hours that we were talking, and this is on a first meet, like never seen you before. I just felt really comfortable, and you know, he is really good at making people feel quite comfortable around him. So that, I would say, was what attracted me to him, and the fact that he's quite tall. So there's that. How do I know if it's not going to waste my time? My time can't be wasted, to be honest. Anything that I'm getting benefit from means that I'm ultimately not wasting my time. So if I'm enjoying someone's company, which I do, if I am feeling happy, and if I, you know, if I'm just, what the time that we spend together is not subtracting but it's adding to me, then that's not a waste of my time at all. Was, where would I like to go for my next vacation? I would like to go to Bali. That's very expensive, so maybe it might not be the next one. It might be, who knows. When we're out of this this very trying time, I would be open to going anywhere, to be honest. But Bali has been on my hit list for some time because I feel like it's the perfect vacation spot. If not Bali, then there's a place in Kenya called Malindi, I don't know how you say it, but I'd love to like do Africa, as like do all of the like holiday destinations in Africa, because, well, one, it's home, and two, I think that there are so many spots, you know, just like the ones in, you know, Asia, that everybody flocks to in, you know, in my home continent. So I would love to explore it as a couple on a romantic tip. So Malindi, Kenya, Zanzibar, yeah, all of that. I should make a list for sure. And now let's go to YouTube, because I had a fair few over there. Don't know why I'm talking like that, excuse me. Oh, 19 now, okay. Right, so hope you're staying safe. I have a few, if I may. You absolutely may. Do I believe in the one? Do you believe in the one? I think I've answered this in a previous video, but I don't believe in the one as in there's only one person out there for you. Well, it depends, because from a religious standpoint, I think that, or from a Christian standpoint, I think that there's definitely a thinking around somebody that God sends to you. But God sends a lot of people into your life, and each of them are there to teach you different things. So I don't necessarily believe that there's only one man or girl out there for everybody. I think there's definitely one person at different stages in your life that is going to teach you a different lesson. And I think that the one, for me, that concept is more about the one person that you choose to build a life with, learn about, understand, make it work, and really just go to bat for. And I think that you can choose to be, yeah, I think that the one is really about the one person that you are really willing to risk it all for and fight for. So yeah and no, it's a tough one. What, if any, would you do differently in your current relationship from your previous relationships? Oh, maybe don't be possessive. And I'm not possessive in a like, it's not extreme, but not to view people as something that you own. And I think, you know, what really brought it home for me was I'm not a big like Nipsey Hussle fan in the sense that I know all of his songs or whatever, but in his passing, I think that at his memorial service, Lauren London made a speech about, you know, some of his viewpoints on life, and you know, he said something to the tune of, people are not meant to be owned, they're meant to be experienced, and they're meant to be enjoyed, and you know, sometimes they're meant to be let go. And so that is how I am trying to see life. I'm not saying that I'm, you know, happy to just let people go, but I know that my partner is not mine to own. They are mine to enjoy, so long as, you know, I'm given that opportunity. But they are also their own person, and they should also, you know, feel free enough to do their own thing. So I will try to be a bit less possessive in my new relationship. Or it's something I'm working on. Was it difficult moving on and opening up again in your current relationship? I wouldn't say it was difficult opening up or moving on, to be fair. I think I left enough time between the last like proper relationship. It's about 2 years. Yeah, I think that's enough time for me to kind of I don't think you ever completely heal from some things, or you ever completely like get out of your past ways without testing yourself in a new relationship, I should say. But I think that time frame gave me enough time to sort of just be happy and just being by myself. And it was only until I got to that point that I then met my boyfriend now. So yeah, there's a lot to say about that. Do you know each other's love language, and what is it? Yes, we do. So my love language recently has changed to no, my love language has always been quality time. That's always been my number one. And quality time for me is good conversation, no distractions, yeah, just like intimate, getting to know you type conversation, I guess. One-on-one time. And then, you know, it used to be gifts, and don't get me wrong, I am still partial to the odd gift because it just makes me feel quite appreciated and thought about. But now it is physical touch. I've become a bit of a softie, I must say. So yeah, I do enjoy hugging, like hand holding, cuddling up, all of that kind of stuff. I don't know if he would want me to say what his love language is, but I'd say acts of service. I'd say probably all of them. I think we both love all of them, but I would say acts of service for him. I'd also probably say physical touch, and probably throw in the old words of affirmation. So yeah. How did you guys meet, and how long was your courtship period? Courtship period was probably, so we met in July, and then we made it official, whatever that is. Became like boyfriend and girlfriend in September, so about 3 months, to be fair. How do you guys resolve conflict? I go quiet. I'll be real. I don't like to call it the silent treatment, but I can be very high energy and hot-tempered if I speak in the moment. So I try to not speak and simmer down for a long time. So it ends up coming across as the silent treatment. I feel like that's the best way for me to not say things out of anger. So time in silence, possibly time, you know, some alone time to reflect, and then we'll discuss. So yeah, it's been a learning curve, and I think I've learnt a lot about myself, and I've learnt about a lot of things that I'm still working on, actually. So it's been really good. Does 9 to 5 affect your relationship in the sense that you can't spend enough time with each other? Yeah and no. I think we're always both going to work, whatever that looks like, job-wise. So I think it's important that we both have a passion and a career, and, you know, things that we do outside of each other, because I think it makes us better people in the relationship, and it helps us to bring more to each other. Yeah, it's hard because we don't live together. I would say that is what makes things difficult, not being able to see each other every day, especially now. But yeah, the 9 to 5 doesn't really impact things because we pretty much talk through message most of the day. So just being able to communicate on whatever platform or whatever makes that somewhat easier. How to get your crush to like you by texting, because he is my online friend. I don't think I've ever really had a crush like that. But I'd say be clear, be flirty. Make it known without having to say it that you are feeling somebody. I think life's too short, to be honest. Like, I'm not even really good at the whole game playing thing. Like, if I like somebody and I think that there's an opportunity for us to be together, I'm just gonna come out and just be like, hey, look, I like you, so do you want to do this or not? Don't take advice from me around dating, because I'm the worst. I make it really clear very early on what my intentions are, so that's one way to do it. But, you know, just be a bit flirty, I'd say. At what point do you introduce your significant other to your friends, family, or parents? So I would say whenever it feels most natural and not forced. So yeah, I don't think there's a time frame, to be honest. I think, one, you have to be quite sure that this person's here to stay, particularly coming from like an African culture. But aside from that, just when you feel ready, or when you feel like, I cannot go another day without my family or friends knowing the person that I love. So yeah, whenever you feel that. Has your love for each other changed or matured in any way? Yes, I would say it has. I'd say we're still, you know, in that, what do you call it, honeymoon phase. But I think that, if anything, the lockdown has made us really learn about all aspects of each other's personality, and, you know, the good, the bad, the ugly. So I'd say that the love has matured in the sense that we don't just love the surface things. We've come to learn about and are growing to love the things that make us, you know, more human. So like some of the deeper stuff, and, you know, some of the fears that we have, and some of the insecurities and hang-ups, like probably at that phase where all of that is starting to be really clear, and knowing, you know, what each other has been through and why we are the way that we are now. So yeah, it has changed. I wouldn't say we're at a point of maturity or whatever with the love, but we're definitely getting there. We're still only, gosh, well, we met in July last year, so that's where we're at. When is the right time to talk about marriage? I would say that if you want marriage, or if marriage is on your agenda, then you should make that known from the get-go. I don't think that you should be shy about letting a guy know, or letting a girl know, that you want to be married, or that marriage is the end goal. Not the end goal, because it's not the end, but that marriage is something that you really want, and that's really important to you. So I'm not saying, like, say to them, I want to marry you, because you might not know that yet right at the beginning. But make it clear, like in your dating, that you are looking for somebody that you can spend the rest of your life with and marry. And then as far as marriage to that specific person, if that's also what they want, then great. And I guess you kind of want to have an idea in mind about roughly when you want to get married. Like, if there's other things that you guys want to do as a couple, like have kids and do all that kind of stuff, then maybe talk about what makes sense in terms of your timeline and all the other things that you want to do before you get married. So maybe speak about your plan with each other, and yeah, then at least you've made it, you both are clear on when marriage makes sense for you, and then you gotta leave it, you know. You gotta leave it to him to do his thing at that point. How do you know that you are right for each other? What happened to lead you to believe that this is the one? How do I know that we are right for each other? Because it's very easy to be together, and if anything, in the beginning, I think we both knew that this was not just like a short-term like interaction. I think we both knew that, wow, this is somebody that I've just met, but I feel like I can see a future with, or I feel like I would want to explore a future with. And you know, when we're together, it's like hanging out with a friend, to be honest. It's easy, it's comfortable, I can be myself, he can be himself. We're not scared to talk about certain things, or yeah, like there's no limits, there's no holds barred. It's the romance is very much there, the attraction is there, and the respect is there. I think that you have to respect somebody to want to share your life with them, and I think there is a high level of mutual respect for each other. So yeah, I really respect the man that he is, and hopefully he feels the same. If he doesn't, I'll beat him up. No, I'm joking. Yeah, so yeah, that is, for me, that is my one right now. And then somebody said, I thought you weren't dating for a while. You're right, I really wasn't. I wasn't, sis, at all. When he came along, I had pretty much said, I'm done. I was done. I was very much ready to just spend the rest of my life just with me. And I was pretty happy about that. I wasn't like, you know, I was just like, that's just the way it is. But then along he came, and I was like, oh, actually, this might be something. So yeah, I wasn't planning on dating, and he just kind of came along at the right time. So who am I to say no? And then the final question is, so it's a long one, I think it's a dilemma more so. It says, hi Nodreen, would you carry on a relationship with a guy after finding out he had sex with your sister before you and him became a couple? Now, taking this seriously, I would say that's going to cause a lot of complication and a lot of, it's just going to make things difficult from the outset. So I would advise, if it were me, no. Because to share like intimacy with somebody that somebody you know has already done so, it feels a bit wrong for me. So that's not a situation that I could put myself in, just because I know the kind of person that I am. So I think there are plenty of fish in the sea. I think that you can find somebody who, everyone comes with baggage, don't get me wrong, but that is quite close to home. So if you don't feel like that's something that you can handle and look past, I wouldn't even go there. But yeah, thank you guys so much for all the questions. I'm gonna end it there. Thank you to my man for letting me answer some of these very personal questions, because it's not just about me, it's about us, and kind of puts our stuff out there a little bit. So, but I appreciate that these kind of videos help people, so I just wanted to do more of them. Please guys, subscribe. If you watch my videos and you've watched them for a while without subscribing, do subscribe, because it does help me out. And please also give the video a like and comment down below. Any bit of engagement really helps me to grow as a creator on this platform. I'm going to just keep creating different types of content, see what you guys like. So bear with me as I experiment. I'm so grateful to all nearly 43,000 of you for sticking with me on this journey. You know, if my audience never gets past this point, I can at least say, like, I hit some big numbers. So thank you all, and I hope you continue to grow with me, and we continue to, you know, build ourselves up and continue to stay safe. My thoughts and prayers to all of your families. I hope you all keep well and stay safe, and keep your peace of mind in this very weird time, and enjoy the weekend. I hope you have enjoyed the weekend, because this is going out on Sunday. So yeah, guys, I will see you in my next video, which will probably also be on Sunday. I don't know what it's going to be now, but comment down below and let me know if you have any thoughts. Until then, goodbye.